Guillaume.
Just back from Vegas. We're here in San Francisco. Still feeling it?
Yeah, reInvent was a lot.
Was it not? You came back with a lot, right? Goodies, illness.
Man, you know me, I'm in the community, so
You were hoarding.
I was getting really involved and really giving my all. It was my first reInvent. So yeah, there was a lot to take in. And you've been to reInvent what, 5 years now in a row?
I think it's my fifth. Yeah, I always forget the previous ones. I forget
You stopped
how
counting
busy
after
it
the
is.
third.
I always forget to take medicine with me. I always forget to plan. Things never quite go as you expect. But it's always a fantastic event. I mean, this one really did feel bigger. I always say that every year. It felt bigger than the last ones. Maybe less announcements. Nevertheless, huge evolution from last year. As in, we saw Agent Core really evolve, MSK is really evolving, Flink as well in the streaming space. I think you've probably got some highlights too.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, first time was quite overwhelming. Like you know what to expect because you know it's a big expo. But yeah, I love the representation. I spoke to people from Japan, from Singapore, lots of people from Europe, a few British people as well.
Oh, wow.
Always a surprise.
A few French people as well.
A few French people, yeah.
It's even more surprising.
There weren't very many Americans. Just kidding. No,
Yeah.
there's plenty of Americans there. I just thought the diversity of the community was really strong. Like I got stuck in. There's a few things I figured out probably on the second day or the third day, and I was like, I wish I'd known earlier.
I could have told you that.
Really?
Yeah,
You held
probably.
back, yeah. Or you forgot, just like the medicine, you forgot. I think, like we're in a lot of meetings with AWS, with our customers. It was really cool to do that. Yeah, we sometimes forgot to eat. So cheat code for everyone out there, go to the fourth floor at the Venetian. That's where they just have a constant stream of refreshments and seating as well. So that saved us a few times.
We'll go to the Mandalay, the Four Seasons next to the Mandalay, and you can have an expensive breakfast.
Oh yeah, you had a few of those. Yeah. If you're feeling low, go to the Four Seasons next to Mandalay Bay and recharge.
Just like check your...
That was the other thing because I got involved with the AWS Builders challenges. So you get a little kind of quest card. And you fill those in with stamps. You do challenges and you get stamps to get swag. And the cheat code there was just go to the Mandalay Bay because no one really goes. It's the furthest away really from the Venetian. It's all the way south on the Strip, and it's just fewer people visiting. So that was a really good place to do the challenges. They had an escape room. They had like card clash, loads of little challenges, and it was a great way to learn about the services as well. There's always someone there to help, so I thought it was a really cool way to learn about services and services I'd never heard about, like built-in. I'd never heard of that. There were so many, so it was I learned a lot, and I'm still trying to synthesize my thoughts. But I was obviously really excited about Agent Core, the new frontier models as well. And you couldn't miss the Kiro haunted house that they built. So
there was also a big queue. I actually did miss it, but I think you went inside. Right?
I went in, yeah. I got in quite early on the first day. I made it out, yeah. They try and keep you in, and they only let you out when you let AI write code for you. So I did.
Oh, wow.
I let it. No.
Oh, right, okay. I thought
They
you were
didn't really.
serious.
No. They don't literally do that. But yeah, it was a haunted house. You know, Kiro being the ghost mascot. It was really a nice experience, and I think a lot of companies in the AI space, like Anthropic, they recently did a pop-up in London and a few other cities as well, where they took over a cafe. I think these sort of in-person experiences like really strengthen a brand. So I thought for Kiro that was perfect, and you know it showed the focus on developers as well. There's a bigger focus. I remember you saying AWS is always about infrastructure, DevOps, platform people, but the developers really, they really got the spotlight in this one.
Yeah, it's very noticeable. Yeah, they've always abstracted infrastructure, done that fantastically well for 15 years, and now you can see they're elevating up not just one stack, multiple stacks. I mean, Kiro and Agent Core for me were the two highlights, really appealing to the software developer, abstracting totally software development, let alone data and even business processes they're starting to abstract. But maybe you want to speak more of Agent Core.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think of Agent Core along with Strands because that's I love Strands because it's so super lightweight, and I think it's a great way for developers to start their agentic development journey. Uh, yeah, there are lots of frameworks, um, all with their own nuances, but I find Agent Core with Strands, it just works really well. All the primitives are kind of there in the library, super lightweight, don't have to think too much, really easy way to get started. And I think that was a theme as well that we were seeing during the conference, that a lot of teams were kind of just have this analysis paralysis with all the AI news, don't know how to start. So having really simple tools for developers is the key. And yeah, big focus in Strands on developers because there's context engineering. So the new feature in experimental is steering. So Strands steering, which is a progressive prompt kind of like loading into the context window based on branching logic. Whereas ordinarily you'd have to front load like your prompt right at the beginning. So this is a good way for building a system that would slowly learn over time, and I thought that was really cool. But yeah, Agent Core, it was all about Agent Core. I think every single keynote mentioned Agent Core, right?
Yeah, I think there were probably 1,000 sessions with Agent Core.
Yeah. Yeah, I use the MCP server. So reInvent has an MCP server.
Just for Agent Core session.
No, well, for everything. But yeah,
Okay.
you ask about Agent Core. I think there are like 300 sessions or mentions
Okay.
compared to like MSK, which had maybe more like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, Agent Core was the theme, I would
Yeah.
say, yeah.
But there you were talking about Kiro. There's also the other frontier agents. So if Kiro is the software developer,
Yeah,
then
Kiro
we had,
Autonomous Agent was released, yeah.
yeah, and then we had the SRE agent, security agent. So it seems like AWS really doubling down on those agents, especially for well prescribed, defined roles within software engineering or IT.
Yeah, as you said, there was such a focus on platform before, and like naturally you'll have these agents. I think they've synthesized all their learning into creating these agents. So yeah, I can see that helping loads of teams that maybe lack those skills for sure.
Yeah. So we have to talk a little bit about streaming. I went to a couple of MSK sessions. One of them from the Olympics was amazing. I mean, when I say the Olympics, it was Olympics.com. So the whole story was about the Paris Olympics.
So no one was powerlifting on stage. It was just the organization. Yeah. I saw them carrying a lot of water around. I thought they're filling up a pool. There's going to be swimming.
Surely. No. But they talked about the Paris Olympics, how they measured engagement on Olympics.com of people watching the events, and streaming, and MSK in particular was the backbone of that, as well as some Agent Core agents.
Oh, right.
So the story was fantastic. The architecture, you could really see that this is the next generation agentic architectures where streaming and agents are coupled, live together. Really a sign of things to come. Did you watch the talk or not?
I didn't see that talk. No. Yeah. I remember you coming out of that session. So it was mind blowing. Yeah, it's amazing when these organizations, it's similar to like Formula One as well, like they were there as well, and there were talks about the Formula One. It's a similar thing when you're that governing body or the organization and you're trying to get the data from, the teams, the individual sports. That's a big data problem. It's a high throughput problem.
Let's talk about the frontier models now.
Okay.
Because there was Forge, some announcements.
For Nova Forge, yeah. So building your own. So Nova Forge was announced, which is a way for teams to start building their own frontier models, giving you a whole set of tools for that. So you can start from, a baseline, start your pre-training, get to kind of checkpoints, do post-training. So they support like all of those. So that's something I predicted that trend would happen in the next 12 months. So it's interesting to see it play out as a service that would do that for you. And data is often a problem, like acquiring enough data to train a model is always, that's part of the challenge. And then the data engineering that goes into it. But they also have, I think it was like pre-curated data sets for you to train with as well. So it was a lot.
Even got you thinking for us, right? Maybe even train some.
I mean, prior to that, I was bullish on small parameter language models being a thing in the next 12 months. I still think they will be. I think companies like industries like manufacturing will always deploy to the edge. They'll need smaller models that are, maybe no more than a gigabyte in size. But for what we do, yeah, Kafka, streaming data, event-driven architecture, even lenses, knowledge of the domain there, that can fit the small model, no doubt.
Yeah. What do you do with your GPU now at home?
Oh, my GPU, yeah. So for the folks at home, I recently invested in building a rig with the highest, consumer grade GPU. So for the nerds out there, it's the NVIDIA RTX 5090. They can fit some of the smaller parameter language model. Well, I say smaller parameter LLMs, but we're talking like 32 billion parameter models in memory, which is really good. So be training some at home.
You can rent it out to the folks in Cornwall.
Yeah, I could. Yeah. Yeah. There's too much power for one person, I think. Too much power for one man.
Yeah.
Like it has to be distributed. Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to that journey. So like having a service and being able to learn it's going to be key. I think it's going to be a key skill easily in the next 2 years, but you want to get started this year. So the other big news that happened this week was IBM acquiring Confluent. So I think there have been rumors for the last few months.
Big, but not surprising.
It's finally happened.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, not surprised. I think there are a few actors in play there, IBM certainly being one of them that I had in mind. I think it kind of makes sense for the two. And congratulations, I think, both to the Confluent folks and to IBM. I think it's going to be a great partnership there. I think they're at the point now in the market where they probably need to partner with a big hyperscaler like IBM. And I think they've kind of got similar things in common. They appeal to the same sort of customer base. And I think the reach that IBM have is really going to take the Kafka community to another level. I think we really needed another big player in the market, and I think IBM now, especially with everything they're doing with agentic, the importance of marrying agentic with real-time streams as the future, kind of the front line of next generation architectures, I think is going to be a great partnership between the two. What's great for us also is we sit, as you know, on top of a Confluent estate as well as other vendors. So it's just great for the lenses market as well. It allows us to sit across the IBM and Confluent technology stack.
Yeah, it was interesting. So since we attend Current, so there was the Current conference, which was in New Orleans in November. That was interesting seeing IBM there, because normally it's the other way around. You have like IBM would have Confluent at their store, but we're seeing it the other way around, where IBM was a vendor inside of Confluent's conference. And you can see the strength of that partnership already from within. Like they're deployed, they've got their own Kafka service, the way they would interact. It just made sense to me. Like I always thought it would be IBM or someone like a company like Oracle. Yeah. So when that news broke, I was like, yeah, of course, makes sense to me.
And then I think, you just mentioned there. I mean, the space is really hotting up. It's becoming very competitive in the infrastructure space. I think the Confluent now and IBM are a force against some of the newcomers coming into the market, the likes of Google, Oracle, as well as taking on the pretty dominant AWS now. They're pretty much the de facto largest Kafka player.
I think there just aren't enough builders. I think the belief is there. I always say Kafka is a top 1% engineering skill. It's something that I hope will increase over time. And I think the recipe, the substrates, everything is prepared and ready. I think we just need more developers building with streams. And I think agentic AI is one of those enablers for that, because like learning about more and more how people are building, increasing trust in systems. I think that's really what we need for agents and AI to succeed, is just increasing the trust in teams, being able to validate from sources of truth, often which are streams. I think is going to be a huge pattern in the next 12 months.
Yeah, you say it's a 1% skill. 1% of your engineers have the skills to really properly build a streaming app. how do we get the 99 other percent onto streams? Well, either we upskill them, that's going to be difficult, or we make their work simpler, and that's really where Lenses comes in. But now with agentic AI assistance through Lenses, that's where onboarding those 99% of your workforce onto streams is just so much easier.
Yeah.
And I think Install next year is an absolute revolution in modernization of systems to streams. In fact, it reminds me of something that Swami said I think he said in the keynote. He really thinks that next year almost all applications are going to be agentic applications. And maybe a few months ago, I would have thought that's a little bit far-fetched, but the direction and the speed of direction it makes you think that really is possible.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams will realize they need fewer engineering resources. Like they can have smaller engineering teams, more focused ones. So I see that trend for sure, I think.
Yeah, there was that interesting McKinsey report, actually, now I remember about.
Yeah, so yeah, like Guillaume and I were on Monday at the ISV Agentic AI Summit, which they hold for partners. And Lorena Yee from McKinsey, she shared a few insights from the surveys they'd been doing. And what was the growth? It was something like last year, it was like 2% had deployed to production and were scaling in production. And in the last 12 months, it's grown to 7%. So that's quite a big jump.
Yeah.
And we're predicting another 100% perhaps. So it should be double that, towards 15% next year. So yeah, I can see, even though the tooling is nascent, the benefits are obvious. So everyone's trying to scale out. Even with MCP, like how do you secure and deploy MCP in an organization? Every one of our customers is trying to figure it out. No one knows the exact answer, but everyone's got an idea. And I think as more and more learning happens in the next few months, which we'll be sharing as well, it'll be interesting. Yeah, staying on top of the MCP spec as well as that evolves too, which changes. Hopefully nothing drastic, but
please no more specs.
No more specs, except the ones that create better standardization.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I saw, like with the MCP UI, that's going to become standardized with MCP apps. Obviously, the other big news was the Agentic AI Foundation was formed as well. So Block contributed Goose to that. Anthropic contributed MCP, and what else do we have? We have agents.md, the Markdown standard as well, which has contributed.
It's funny because there wasn't even that much talk about MCP at AWS. It's almost like it's just a given right now. It's almost unworthy of talking about because it's so accessible compared to so many other primitives and technologies around agentic, right?
Yeah, it's as natural as breathing air in some of these organizations, some of whom have been using MCP since it was released last year. So for them, yeah, I found that was a bit like a secret agent handshake, a secret agent code word, where like no one would really be talking about agentic systems. And then suddenly you mention MCP and they're also saying, oh yeah, we've built our own MCP servers. And most companies have built their own MCP servers, deployed them internally in an unsecure manner, but in a very useful way for very discrete tasks that they have. So a lot of teams have experience with it, but not necessarily productionizing it, securing it, making it available for the masses. That's, I think, the learning that's going to happen in the next 12 months. But yeah, MCP is still a force to be reckoned with. I think it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, Tun, we've got a flight to catch, I think.
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. It was cool.